10th Avenue North back with their 10th, appropriately, studio album. Mike Donehey's with us. Good morning, Mike.
Morning. How's it going?
Good, good. Well, we thought 10th Avenue North was over and done, and you guys are back. This is amazing. And the new album's called Learning to Trust. This is amazing. Thank you guys for coming back.
Yeah, well, thanks for listening.
Well, a day doesn't go by on life where we don't hear a song or two by 10th Avenue North. That's for sure. You're a big part of the playlist. Want you to know that.
Oh, thank you. I like to be a part of anyone's playlist of their life.
Yeah, I mean, ever since we've started, this going 25 years now. I mean, it's almost as long as the band. So, as a group, you've gone through some stages, and so now you're left, and you have all new guys. How's that been the adjustment for you?
Um, you know, my drummer and I started our band in college, and we've had a lot of people come and go over the years. And I never dreamed that I would bring 10th Avenue North back when the last couple guys wanted to retire. And and then I spent 4 years at home, and I think my wife said, "Why don't you go on the road a little bit?" No, she our youngest daughter started school full time, so it's kind of a different mode of life. And I actually live on the same street as my drummer, who I started the band with.
Oh,
And I said, "Hey, I'm tinkering around with bringing the band back." And he said, "That's awesome. I'd love to support you in any way." I was like, "You want to come back out on the road?" He's like, "Nope, but I do think you should get a new drummer, and I would love to support you." So, him and then my guitar player, Jeff, who's in the band a long time, he actually co-wrote three of the songs on the new record. So it kind of feels like the band is still the band. We've just gotten more people
right.
involved.
Well, as with any band, if you take a little bit of time off, I mean, you live some life and you go through some different things, and that you would normally if you were just on the road or performing or recording. And you say that this kind of album kind of is intensely personal and reflects some real struggles of that growth. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. Uh, it's an intense thing to lay down your career after you've been doing it for 20 something years. And that's what I felt like I had to do. My wife said, "I need you home."
Mm.
And that was intensely personal. And a lot of the songs come out of that. My mom had a stroke. My dad went through a cancer battle. Our 12-year-old daughter went through uh, a 6 month period of crippling panic attacks. Um, and then, not to mention, just trying to hear God's voice and go, "Is this what I'm supposed to do?"
Yeah.
So you can always tell what I've been struggling with based on the content of the song you're listening to. There's this great verse in Psalm 49. David says, "I incline my ear to wisdom, and with the music of the lyre, I will solve my riddle."
Wow.
So David says, "I write songs to unriddle myself." And I try to do the same thing.
That's good. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, and it makes sense that you would call the album "Learning to Trust." I mean, over that long period of time. I mean, no matter how long you've been a Christian, would you agree that that's a constant lesson?
Yeah, notice the album is not called Learned How to Trust.
Right.
It's a active present tense. And I heard someone say, he was the dean of spirituality at a college, and he had this whole thought process that when we talk about believing in God, he goes, a better question is whether you trust God.
Hmm.
Because even the demons believe, but will we trust him with the little bit we do believe?
That's a whole other story there. My goodness. All right. I'm writing this down. What was that scripture again? I just want to know.
Well, Hebrews 11:6 says, "Without faith, it's impossible to please God." Which, when I was young, I just took it as, "Oh, I better have enough faith or God won't be pleased with me." But being the age I am now, I think about, without faith, it's impossible to please God. Another way you could read that is if you have all the answers and all the certainty, you can't please God.
Mm,
Because what do you have to have faith? You have to have trust. You have to have not like you can't know how it's going to turn out in a sense. And so then it's like you read that passage differently. It's God is so pleased when we actually trust him,
mm.
you know.
Yeah, as opposed to the other view where it's like I'll believe in God when I see some real evidence, or people that are searching that way, and
Well, you know,
forget it.
it's more like the little evidence that you have seen, will you give yourself over to trust? There's this verse in Colossians. It says, let the peace of God rule in your heart. I always thought that was interesting. Let it. I always thought another way you could read that is stop. Where am I actively resisting the peace of God that is pushing on the doors of my heart, wanting to rule, and I am resisting that peace?
Mm. I love this. We wanted to talk about music, but I love this. We're going to get into Bible study.
I I mean, it's just kind of what informs a lot of the lyrics that I wrestle with, is my
Yeah,
own wrestling with scripture, just like David says, I incline my ear to wisdom, and then I pick up the lyre and I try to solve my riddle. Like I try to figure out why my heart and my head don't match up.
yeah. No, I love that. And on this record, you've got people that are in the same groove with you. I know for a fact, Ren Collective, Leanna Crawford, Land of Color, and Natalie Lane, who last time I talked, she was like studying theology and things like that. So you guys, you've got a bunch of people here on this album that you've teamed up with that are in that same vein.
It's beautiful, all of them are friends, and we never really done a ton of features as a band, and all of those songs it just came very naturally. Thomas, who's in our band, he was in Ren Collective for a couple years, and I was on a retreat in Vancouver with Chris Llewellyn, the lead singer of Ren Collective. I said, man, we got this 6/8 song, and I know you love to talk about mental health. This is a song I wrote for my daughter while she was going through these panic attacks, and it feels like an Irish song. Should Would you want to sing on it? He's like, mate, we've been friends so long. It's actually mental that we haven't done something together. So absolutely we're gonna do that. And Leanna Crawford, we've been friends with for a long time, and yeah, that song just felt like her voice was exactly the right thing. And Natalie Lane, we wrote that song with her on tour, so that just made sense.
Yeah, yeah. And now you're not just picking up and like easing into it. Like you guys are heading out to Europe. Like my goodness.
We're
How
we're
is that?
we're playing Canada too.
Get up here. Like get up
Yeah,
here all the time. North of Toronto?
I think right now we've got a festival in Winkler we're gonna play,
Okay.
and then we might head over to Edmonton,
Go the
which
other
is the
way.
wrong direction. I know we got to figure something out. We
Yeah, talk to
almost
your people.
played. We almost played in Toronto one time as an outdoor festival, and right as we were about to play, this huge storm came and
Mm.
shut down the whole thing. So
Oh,
we were
sorry.
that close to playing in Toronto.
I'll say the Canadian thing. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
But packing up and touring over in Europe, I mean, you talk about living by faith. My goodness, like to pack up and do all of that. I mean, logistically, that just sounds like a nightmare to me. Is that what it is?
Uh, I mean, every bit of touring has its own challenges.
Right.
Um, it's always tough to get a gaggle of people. That It's so funny. Some people said to me, "Oh, you got the band back together. You couldn't hack it as a solo artist." I said, "Are you kidding me? Being a solo artist is about 10 times easier. There's just one of you.
Right.
And when you have to make a decision, you go, who wants to do that? Okay, I see that hand. Yes." Uh,
Exactly.
but I love the struggle of community. I think it's worth it.
Mm. That's awesome. Well, we look forward to hopefully getting you somewhere near Toronto. If you guys can talk to the right people and work it out, uh, we would be thirsty to have you guys come up here. That would be an amazing. Last time we saw you was at Kingdom Bound, and I have to say, I don't know who else played, but you guys just blew me away at Kingdom Bound last time you were there.
Oh, amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's sweet. Sweet festival.
yeah, it was a great show, and we're looking forward to the new album and all the new guys in the band. It's called Learning to Trust, 10th Avenue North, and Mike Donehey's been our guest. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.